you're retiring with a pension in the United States right now, let me tell you something most people will never hear. Pension isn't just a benefit, it's a decision tree. If you make that wrong decision even once, it can cost you six figures or maybe more, and even permanently. Today, we're going to uncover 5 things every pension retiree must understand before you lock yourself into choices that you can't undo. Number 5 is the one thing that almost everyone gets blindsided by. I'm Nick McLeod, founder of NJM Wealth Preservation Strategies. I've spent the last 20 years, 2 decades, helping families across the country retire with clarity, income, stability, and purpose. And I'll tell you, pension planning is a completely different animal than traditional retirement planning. Most people don't realize that, but after this video, I think you will. If you have a pension, you're part of a shrinking minority. In fact, only 15% of private sector workers still have one to this day. Because you're in that group, retirement planning works differently for you than it does for the other 85%. Here's the catch. Every dollar of pension income is pre-tax and permanent. You can't pause it, reduce it, or make it flexible for later. And that creates a ripple effect across your entire plan. Your pension decides your tax bracket for decades. It also helps determine how much of your Social Security becomes taxable because it is plannable. It influences your Medicare premiums, or IRMAA, and it also can limit Roth conversion opportunities because most pensioners have more robust, standardized, consistent incomes. It can create survivor tax traps, and it can reduce your flexibility during market downturns. In fact, I had a client, she's a retired teacher, who assumed her pension was forever inflation protected. She didn't realize her state legislature could freeze COLA increases until they did. Her guaranteed income lost real buying power every single year in Ohio. So yes, pensions do provide stability, but they can also create constraints and blind spots that most of us don't discover until it's too late or into retirement. Number 2 is a doozy. This decision alone can change the entire trajectory of your retirement. It's often made with incomplete or dangerous assumptions, and this is not your fault. A lot of time it comes from our pensioner. So people compare lump sums using intuition or a simple break-even math, or even their lifespan, not necessarily their spouses, their emotions and fear, security bias, or maybe not even understanding the discount rates at all. Most retirees don't realize that lump sum pension offers can deeply be affected by the interest rate your employer uses. So low and high interest rate environments do affect you. A higher discount rate can make your lump sum look smaller than what the lifetime payments are truly worth, which is why comparing both options with real assumptions is critical before making a permanent decision. It's important to know what you can get outside in the real world as well as a true comparison. I worked with a client named Robert. He was offered $580,000 lump sum, or $3,200 a month for life. A simple break even said the monthly option was better if he lived into his early 80s. Again, if. But then we looked at his wife, 10 years younger, excellent health, long family longevity, so good genes. If he took the single life, the life pension, and passed first, she loses his pension and would be forced to file taxes as single. That's what I call a survivor's double gut punch. I mean, think about it. You lose one Social Security stream. You have higher tax brackets immediately, lower deductions, higher Medicare premiums, less flexibility. So in this case, the lump sum gave some flexibility rather, but survivor protection and tax control, it was all out the window. The monthly benefit is absolutely the winning choice for a survivor benefit. There is no blanket answer, of course. This is kind of a math problem. It's certainly not a guess, but for him, I think we made the right choice. Most retirees underestimate inflation, also cost of living increases. Pension retirees underestimate it the most. Here's what I mean. Many pensions offer no COLA. Others cap COLA at 2 to 3%. Healthcare inflation averages 5 to 7%. Housing, utilities, and food regularly outpace CPI. A fixed pension, losing 3% of purchasing power each year, get cut in half in 24 years. That means a 60-year-old today may only have half the buying power at 84. So in real time, Illinois' COLA freezes during budget crisis. California's COLA adjustments are modified by legislation. Delta pilots, they lose their COLA and portions of their base benefits when PBGC took over, and that's why your investments must be built to fight inflation. Your pension is the stability piece, and your portfolio is the growth engine. So make sure that balance is correct. When we coordinate our pension with Social Security, this is where it gets a little bit of tricky. Here's what most pension retirees kind of misunderstand about number 4. Your pension and Social Security should never be planned separately. It's one big happy family. Your pension impacts your Social Security. Here's a few reasons why. It adds taxable income, so less room in the bracket. It can immediately push us up to 85% of our Social Security, which is taxable territory, also affecting IRMAA. It affects survivor planning. It determines how much flexibility, if any, you have to delay benefits. And most generic advice would say, just delay Social Security until you're 70. But see, for pensionees, or the recipients of pensions rather, the optimal strategy is often different. It's person to person, it's subjective. Your pension gives you a guaranteed income now, of course, which means you have options. Proper coordination can look like a few of these things. When you increase your household income in your early 60s, this can reduce lifetime taxes, strengthen survivor benefits, build a larger inflation-protected Social Security stream, and allow more control over your RMDs. This creates better sequence of return and also sequence of income in real time. So the real question isn't when should I take Social Security? The real question is how do I layer Social Security on top of my pension and taxes to minimize my total lifetime income? This decision alone can create or destroy 6 figures or more over your lifetime, especially for those of you in great health. A pension often keeps retirees in a higher tax bracket than expected, sometimes even higher than when they were working. And that single fact influences almost everything about our retirement taxes. It affects how much of our Social Security becomes taxable, whether or not you hit IRMAA brackets or limits, how aggressive you can be with Roth conversions, and even how exposed your spouse might be to her widow's tax penalty. So because your pension income is fixed and taxable every year, the real strategy becomes managing everything around it. Your IRA withdrawals, your Roth buckets, your brokerage income, and how all of it fits into your long-term tax plan. So for many retirees, what we look to do is use early retirement years as a strategic Roth conversion window, coordinating withdrawals intentionally to avoid tax bracket jumps, blending pension income with tax-free and after-tax income to maintain control and flexibility. Making sure that the surviving spouse isn't pushed into a much higher bracket or a single tax bracket later. And if all of this is handled correctly, this part of the planning can dramatically reduce lifetime taxes, preserve more of your portfolio, and create a more stable long-term income stream. Handled poorly, it can quietly drain hundreds of thousands of dollars over your lifetime. Your pension is just one part of your income. It can change the rules for every other part. So we have to make sure that we handle it delicately and subjectively for your particular position, age, longevity, and your portfolio. If you're retiring with a pension, you have an incredible foundation, a great opportunity, but it's also a responsibility to make sure the rest of your plan is built correctly around it. The decisions you make in your early 60s will ripple through from taxes to income planning to your spouse's financial security for the next 20 or 30 years. If you want clarity on your exact pension options, whether to take lump sum or how to coordinate Social Security, how to minimize taxes, how to protect your spouse, schedule a free retirement Zoom or call with my team and I, and just use the first link in the description below or the pinned comment section. We'll walk you through the numbers, your pension terms, your long-term goals, and show you the strategy that protects you and what you've built. And if you'd rather start by simply learning a little bit more, you can also register for our next live retirement webinar every Tuesday night at 7 o'clock Central Time. However you choose to begin, remember this: you can always make more money, but you cannot make more time. Make the next chapter of your life the one where your pension finally works for you. Click the like and subscribe button and check out all the extra links below, including our website with tons of valuable information in our educational vault.